Hello, I'm Kirti Tarang Pande, and last week we spoke about how my friend's velvet depression compelled me to make these videos where we talk about how yoga can help us with our mental and emotional well-being. So of course, the first thing that we are going to talk about is going to be depression. Today we are going to discuss 3 easy yoga steps that can help us transcend depression. My first date with depression was in a psychology class when I was training to become a psychologist. We discussed depression in great lengths: depression as a mood, depression as a personality type, depression as a disorder. What we did not discuss was the why of it. This is a very common trait of modern psychology. It often fails to question why. Psychology is a study of mind. Why mind exists, it doesn't question that. So I went to my grandfather to see if ancient wisdom of yoga has the answers to my questions. And I discovered that when it comes to dealing with our modern minds, the ancient wisdom of yoga is not only better equipped, but it is so user-friendly. Don't take my word for it. Experiment yourself by following these 3 easy yoga tips to transcend depression: Abhyas, Tratak and Sattva. Abhyas was a tip that Krishna gave to Arjun during the battle of Kurukshetra. He told him, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagena jagrayate. For a beginner, I would suggest let's stick with Abhyas first. Abhyas means trying. Now the question is how to try. Imagine if there is a knot in this chain, it gets tangled into a knot. Just by the virtue that it can be tangled, I know it can be untangled also. So if I just let the knot be, it's not going to open on itself. It's just going to get tightened and tightened. If I use force or pressure or rush the process, my chain is going to break. I have to be gentle. I have to do it patiently, and the knot will untangle itself. Unfortunately, we follow this rule while untangling our earphones, but we forget this rule when we are dealing with a knot of depression. We either let the knot be, we sit and suffer in silence, or we use force. We rush into binge watching, binge eating, binge drinking, binge medicating, binge working. High functioning depression is also depression. All I'm saying is, don't sit and suffer in silence, but also don't rush the process. Transcending depression should not be a battle that needs to be fought. It should not be a struggle. It should be a joyful process, just like everything else in our life. Remember when we were little babies and we were learning how to walk? We never competed. We never pushed ourselves. Yet, each time we gave our best. We fell, we got hurt, we got dirty. But how much we enjoyed the process of learning how to walk. We all took our own time, but see, today each one of us walks very well. That's how one should try. Try joyfully, try patiently, try like a baby. Now the question is, what to try? Tip 2 and tip 3. Tratak and Sattva. Let's start with Tratak. This is something that my grandmother, my Nani, made me do every day. Even the evening before my 10th board mathematics examination. She said that if Pandav and Kaurav can do this during a war, then what you are going to do is not bigger than life and death. So I followed her advice since past 33 years. So Tratak is every morning when the sun looks like that orange candy. I'll show you what to do. You go out and connect with the sun. Take a vessel, put some water in it, stand in front of the sun and start pouring the water. And keep looking at the sun through this stream of water. Keep looking softly, keep looking softly and softly but without blinking. And keep doing this till you run out of water. It barely takes a minute. Then again in the evening, you don't have to do this. Remember, I'm sure each one of us have that friend with whom we can just hang out. We go, sit, we do nothing. We sit in silence and just enjoy the moment, soak the moment. Let sun be that friend. every evening, even if you just have 2 minutes, go out, don't even stare at the sun. Just hang out with it, just soak in its brilliance. Allow it to untangle the knots of your mind. I know it can be done. The only time I found it difficult in practice when I was working as a television journalist. My work hours were very odd, so during the days when my shoots will end at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., I would sleep, wake up at 6, do my throttle, and then I'll take a call if I need to get back to sleep or continue with my day. On the days when my shoots will end up at 4 or 5 a.m., I'll stay awake till 6, do my practice, and then go to bed. In the evening, during sunset, I would always be at work. So I timed my loo breaks and my tea breaks in a way that during sunset, I always got a time to soak the sun, even if it means from the indoors and through a window. So I know it can be done every day without a cheat day. But a student of mine, a client of mine, he lives in Germany, he asked a very relevant question. What about the days when the sun doesn't come out? He suffers from SAD, seasonal affective depression, the depression that you get in winters because there is no sun. So asking him to do Tratak on sun is pretty oxymoronic. So if you are in that kind of situation that the sun is not coming out, I suggest take a ghee lamp or a candle, light it on a 1.5 hand distance away from you at the eye level, and keep looking at its flame without blinking but softly till the point water starts running from your eyes. The minute that happens, close your eyes, wash your eyes with cold water, and you're good to go. You have to do this again every morning during the time of sunrise, every evening during the time of sunset. These things barely take a minute. You just need to get them in your routine. Now it's time for the third thing, which is sattva. Before we talk about sattva, let me tell you something. So there is an American psychiatrist I was listening to, and he was raving about this client of his, a lady who has been very proactive with depression. She was in time for her medication and always in time for her sessions, and since past 10 years, in his words, she's battling with depression very well and she's ahead of the curve. And I thought, yes, she's ahead of the curve. Still, she's in loop of depression since past 10 years. He kept saying she's fighting depression very well, and in front of me the picture of a knight came who's with a sword and fighting. He spends his entire life fighting. When will he get time to sit and enjoy the gifts of life? Yoga says, please don't do that. Please don't waste your time in fighting. Please sit and enjoy the life. Don't think about depression. Think about joy. Let me put it this way. If Newton was a yogi, he would have said, every knot of our mind has an equal and opposite. Equal in intensity, opposite in direction. So if there is depression, its shadow is joy. If you're feeling intense depression, please be joyful, because it is the wheel and prophecy of your potential to feel immense joy. You have to align yourself with the thinking, what can I do to be more joyful? Now this joy is tricky. The only rule that you have to follow is the law of sustainability. Whenever you are looking to be joyful, think of a sustainable meal. For instance, one may say eating chocolates make me joyful, drinking makes me joyful, or making out makes me joyful. You need to ask your question, how much can you do that? How much of chocolate, alcohol and sex can you have without having a side effect or without getting exhausted or burned out in the process? So, I'm not saying don't enjoy chocolate, alcohol and sex. Please relish and enjoy all those things. But understand that they are not sustainable meals. Keep looking for sustainable meals. What is sustainable? Yoga says Atmarati. Our ability to be joyful just by hanging out with myself. This quality is called sattva. Swami Vivekananda puts it wonderfully. He says that sattva is a potential to be blissful. It doesn't matter how depressed we are. During the day, we all have that moment where we all feel, if not blissful, better, little joyful, little happy. He says, Watch out for those moments. Write those moments. Have a room. If not a room, at least have a corner in your home. The minute you get those moments of sattva where you're just happy or blissful, or at least not depressed, go to that place and sit there and start doing those things that make you joyful, those sustainable things that require least amount of stimulus. For me, that is singing and dancing and meditating, writing, reading Rumi and Gibran. You can have your own things. Soon, your vibrations will charge that room or corner so much that every time you will go into that room, you will come out filled with the vibrations of joy. Gradually, the vibrations will fill you in a way, your whole being will be filled with joy. There will be no room left for depression to come in. That's it.